And I'm back. Okay, so we got this sword, and right now well, I messed up because, if you recap earlier, I left on this background layer. Notice the black lines? Okay, so let's say I'm somewhat experienced with Maya, and I want to use Maya's Hypershade nodes to create my texture for me, sort of. For this case, it depends on what you're doing when this might be useful, but I just found it interesting that I was able to do it. Um, what you're going to do is create a new Fong E, and I'm not even going to look at my sword. Um, this may be difficult, but we're going to do it anyway. All right. I clicked the for color the checker box. In fact, I should note you could probably check the bump mapping also if you want certain effects over your texture. I have not gone over bump mapping myself for Valve BTF files, but it's definitely something that I should later. But you can click the checker box for that too and set something over it, but we're not going to do that now. We're just going to look at 3D textures, and the one I want is wood. So now what you get is you get this. And by the way, if you're not experienced with Maya, oh wait, first I want to apply it and then I'm going to let you look at it. Doesn't look good, does it? Well, let's look a little closer. And I am going to click the render button. It's the director's, the thing when they, I will circle it in the movie. You click it, and you get that. Now that's highly, highly, highly detailed. And in fact, if you zoom out, it looks like noise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the Hypershade. I'm going to click this. I'm going to look at the attribute options for this node. And you can hold Alt and mouse click to move this around, by the way. I'm doing this tutorial for a friend because he just downloaded Maya. He just got Maya and he needs some help. Well, I figure I can help him. Alright. So you got several options. I'm going to mess around with all of these, or some of these. What if I had, no, let's keep with the usual. Okay, I'm going to pick a filler color, the vein color. I don't want something that strong. Now what am I doing? I want to add saturation, which you can do here. The little slider on the left of the color palette. Make sure you hit accept when you finish selecting that. Age, you can scroll this. You probably want something less because you want to be able to actually see the grain or the little veins. The veins make it look cooler. The grain contrast, this is going to give you more detailed, bumpy sort of look. The spacing is going to differ how often that appears. Ooh, that looks pretty sweet, but I'm not doing that. And let's have a look. Make sure that you select your perspective view. Get your camera selected how you want it. Click the render button. You'll notice the color changed slightly, but if you zoom in, well, you can still notice that it's kind of grainy. So what do? You could only set the age so much to widen the veins. So what you're going to do is you go to the place 3D texture. You'll notice a little green thing there, but ignore it for now. You want to look at this, click the place Place 3D Editor texture in the work area next to where you found the wood and the Phong E4. You may want to name these. I'm just going to name this wood just because I can. Okay. So, Place 3D texture. Let's click interactive placement. You'll notice that you now have options to move around this texture, but don't do it yet. Fit to group B box. Click it. There you go. Now let's try. That's a little better, but there's one issue, and there's a strange, and I noticed this earlier too, it has nothing to do with modeling for source, it's just Maya itself, and I probably did it somewhere with my modeling. There seems to be some sort of black line going across the middle. I don't know. But this is what I did to fix it. You'll notice three major options. You can select the blue line thing. You just click it real quick and you get the XYZ rotation. So if I wanted to rotate this, try rendering again, now you get a much different area for how you want to do this, but you still have the little cut at the bottom. And let me check the other side. And you have it on the top here. So let's try stretching it. Let's just extend that. And this. And did I do Z already? I think I did. But I'll do it again anyway. Not quite. I want to rotate it again. You'll have to experiment with this if you're trying this method. When you model in Maya, it's usually, or when you've done it for a while, you probably get used to this stuff and you're able to do it. I never got used to this method too much, but you will if you start to model lots and lots of things. And you just need a quick texture. If you need precision, usually you use a UV texture, just as a note. But if you're using something simplistic where you need to model a small area and you can use multiple UV textures, then this is the way to go, or a possible way to go. Not the way, but there's always a multiple way. There are always tons of ways to do a simple thing like texturing or anything like that, modeling. There are tons of ways. It's just finding the one that is right for you. So I've got this done. I'm going to just go with it. I do notice one thing I don't like about the modeling, which is a really bad time to say that, but the handle is a little short. I am just going to leave it alone though, just to show for this tutorial. So I think it's good enough for this. So I'm going to save this as Tutorial Knife 5 and one more tutorial on how to export this bastard. No, wait. I have to do one final step. The whole point of doing this was, of course, to get the UV texture. You'll notice if I open up the UV texture editor, I get this.